Hey guys, welcome back to ForexProfirm.com YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to do the interview with one of our funded trader who recently became a funded trader here at ForexProfirm.com. But before we do that, if you do not know who we are, ForexProfirm.com is the proprietary trading firm. We offer you funding up to $10 million. You can take the initial account sizes starting from $25,000 all the way up to $200,000. We now have three different account models: one-step evaluation model, two-step evaluation model, and instant funding account. And you are allowed to trade Forex, stocks, indices, commodities, and futures. And this video is sponsored by 8cap broker because we are partnered with 8cap, and whatever account that we give you the real funding, that is always with the 8cap broker. So let's start today's interview with Daniel. And can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where are you from, how old are you, when did you start trading?
Sure. So I'm in my early 40s with married, three kids. I live in Houston. So they're all home today because they canceled school for the World Series parade today. A little bit of an atypical day, but we'll take it. Um, I've been trading for about 4 years.
Okay.
Um, Not well until maybe the last year or so. I did all the typical stupid things people do: get on YouTube, watch bad information, not pay attention to the most important part of trading, which I consider to be risk management.
Yeah.
Um, so well, in the last year or so, that's really all I focused on. I mean, I've got a way I look for setups. I don't feel that's really as important as managing the leverage and the risk on the trades, though. So I found that regardless of what strategy it is I've used throughout the past, or things that I found that I thought were going to be accurate or consistent strategies, as long as the money management was right, I could still be profitable regardless of really what I'm looking for. So that's really what I focus on most is drawdown. I have the way that I typically approach it is I'll start off with whatever percentage I'm starting on. Let's say it's 1% per trade.
Yeah.
If I lose the trade, I cut it to half of that. And if I lose again, I cut it to half that again, and don't raise it back up until I get back to where I initially lost.
Hmm.
And so doing that, you can lose 20 trades in a row without blowing your account,
Exactly.
or even violating some of the way these prop firms, like the 12% drawdown. You'll never hit 12%. I mean, I'll never lose 20 trades in a row for one thing, but you won't hit the drawdown if you just be disciplined and pay attention to your position size. But what was difficult for me early on was not the losers, it was the winners.
Mm-hmm.
When it would start going well and I would start feeling really good about it, I would start looking for ways to put more on that position and try to, end the evaluation now or speed up the process. And that's really where I found that I made the most of my mistakes, is when I had winners running. So learning to not do that and just accept it's going to take however long it takes to get to whatever profit target you want. But if you are feeling emotional, whether it's on its way up or on its going against you, I found that means you just have too much on the trade.
Wow.
So that's really what I focus on most, is position size and risk amount.
Yeah, exactly. Risk management, I always say that it is everything. And you're definitely never going to lose 20 trades in a row if you know how to trade. And if you're managing a good risk management system, that means at the end, even if you lose 10, 12 trades in a row, which barely will happen ever to you, if you're a good trader, if you know when to enter, when not to enter. So that way you will never lose your either challenges, or if you are doing a funded account, if you're trading on that, you will never lose that account as well. So let's move on, and can you describe your trading plan and then share your screen with the viewers so they can know what strategies you use?
Okay, so it should be coming up in just a second. You should see a chart of the S&P 500 hourly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just as an example, if I were trading this week, what I would typically look for are what are referred to sometimes, I guess, as fair value gaps. When you see these candles go down, and in between the two wicks right there, you can see there's a gap that was formed. So I look for price to turn around in these areas. Like, so if, for instance, if I had been trading when this needle or wick was running up, coming down to look at this in a little lower time frame here, I would be looking for something to reverse in that area, right?
All right.
So, and it's not, I don't just take and make the trade automatically when it gets to that point, but I would be looking for a pattern. So in this
Hmm.
instance, if I thought the price was going to turn around in this area, I would probably have looked to take a short whenever we broke down below this candle
All right.
right here. And this would be a pretty typical trade for me, is to come down from that fair value gap. Once it turns around in that area, I see that it's reacted, then I would look for an entry, maybe off that candle pattern, and then take it down to where the next liquidity point, which for me would be under this area, because there's going to be some stop losses under here to hit. And if I get 1 to 3 trades, I think that's pretty good. I'll usually take off about 80% and let the rest of the 20% ride. So that would take me down. I'm not telling you I would have gotten this bottom at the 3 right there, but that's about what I would be looking for is a trade like this. And so that's, if you get 1 to 3, you got 1% in it. That's 3%. So 2 of these trades get you to where you've got 6% profit. And you got your payout, right? You can
All
cash
right.
out. 4 of them get you to 10%, so you can grow your account size.
Hmm.
So this is pretty standard for what I look for. And if I, like I said, if I don't find it in the morning session, New York, I may look around 1 o'clock, New York time, noon our time, 1 o'clock in Central, to see if I can get back in on a retrace. Maybe something bounced up, maybe not, but only if it gives me enough of a reward that I really want to mess with it. If I don't find it that day, or if I lose 2 of those trades, I'm done. I usually look for this on Tuesday morning our time, or Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
basically after Tuesday London, because the higher low of the week I find usually gets set on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm just trying to catch that and ride away from it. And that's it. I'll keep it really simple.
All right, that is good. So your strategy literally is very simple, and I have often seen that people try to make trading very complicated. And when you start doing that, and you start
Mhm.
drawing trend lines, you start marking every single spot and resistance, then everything becomes very complex. And that way, you can't even focus on the proper price levels. So very great to know that you are keeping everything very simple. And
Mhm.
now let's move on. And I want to know what are your most favorite pairs that you like to trade?
So usually I start with the S&P. This is where I try to find most of, because I live in the U.S. The way that my schedule works, I wake up all the girls. I can make breakfast, get everybody to school. So around 9 o'clock my time is when I have time to really concentrate. So I'll
Okay.
look for New York Open. I'll look for a move like on this one. I would see this as a liquidity run. Because the day before you've got stop losses up here. This is actually the lunch session when I would have caught this. And the only thing I have on my chart is time-based things, because that's really what I pay most attention to, is when the asset's going to move. If I miss the move in S&P, sometimes I will look at euro or pound, because they will move similarly. They're going against what the Dixie's doing, the dollar. So I can maybe find one in those, or I can find a reverse trade, basically a long in this case on the New York or the dollar yen. So it's really going to be those 4 pairs that
All
I'm on.
right. All right. All right. And you are a scalper or a day trader, or do you like to swing trade?
Mostly, I like to find day trades like this and get out. I don't want to carry over after rollover at 4 o'clock. Um, if I, like I said, I'll usually take off. Like in this instance, I would have taken off 80 and left 20 running, so the 20 may stay on for more than a day or two. I'm definitely not carrying over the weekend. I don't position trade. Not with these kind of accounts anyway. Um, with personal money, I would look for more position type trading. But for prop firm trading, I really like to try to get out maybe 2 days at the most on a trade. I really don't like to carry over though.
Oh, all right. And when you started your your trading journey, I would like to know the history, how you became profitable, how much time it took you to become profitable. What was it like back then?
Well, I actually started um, on BitMEX with Bitcoin
Yeah.
back in right when Bitcoin was worth around. It was sitting at 3,000, I think, and Ethereum was at $70. And so, but I mean, I like I said, everything I did was exactly wrong. I was getting in there way over leveraging, basically risking the entire account balance on every trade, because it was all about hitting home runs, right? And I didn't really understand incremental and incremental gains, also the power of compounding. with your balance. So uh, it took a couple of really big losses. One in particular around Christmas. I had I didn't know about slippage. I didn't really understand it. So I was in a short trade on Bitcoin Cash, I think on BitMEX, and lost over half my account in one trade because it just
All
jumped over
right.
my stop loss, started running, and I was like, well, whatever. It wasn't a ton of money. It was just the fact that I lost 80% of my balance in one trade. And it caused me to just stop and say, like, I clearly don't know what the hell I'm doing. If I had a
Yeah.
lot of money on this would be a real problem. So I just stopped and started studying, and I didn't really trade again for over a year. I just studied. I would look at paper trades. I would follow price and look at it historically after to see if it did what I thought it might do. But most of my time was spent studying. And I think that at first, what was difficult for me is understanding that you can't just cram it all into a weekend. I mean, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. So to be naive enough to think that you're going to sit down and in 2 or 3 weekends watch a bunch of videos and become a master trader is just ridiculous. You got to go and lose. You got to go and take your lumps. And I feel like I've done enough of that that I know how to be profitable now. I know how not to lose big, and that's really the biggest hurdle I had to go over.
All right. So, every single trader, I think there is a journey that he has to first complete to finally get his aha moment. Like once uh, finally get to that level where you start seeing some results, that is literally a great thing, a great feeling, because I have been there when I started back in 2017. At that time, Bitcoin was $823. I remember seeing Bitcoin for the very first time. It was in January 2017, and it was literally at somewhere $800 mark. So that was the time when I started learning. And after again watching several videos on YouTube, by thinking that I can become a profitable trader in a matter of week or 2 weeks, that was ridiculous. But it took me 2 years to finally get my aha moment. And that was the first time back in 2019 when I got paid, when I first made a withdrawal. And then I started working in 2019 with these prop firms. I first started with FTMO because back then there were only two prop firms, and
Mhm.
FTMO was one of them. And literally at that time, no one really knew about these online prop firms. And I remember people complaining that why we need to pay for the challenge. If you're gonna give us the account, the funded account, just make these challenges for free. And that was the type of question people were always asking. And but I took the risk. I tried to pass the FTMO challenge, but I failed couple of times. The first two times I failed, but after that, as I was trying to be consistent with the passage of time, and I started making some profits on my personal account. Then that time came when I first got my funded account as well. It was in 2019, and since then everything has been going super great. And now I'm working for different platforms as well. And if you have not watched my videos, I also run a YouTube channel with the name The Falcon Trader, and I'm either sharing different trading strategies or doing different platform reviews there as well. So I'm very impressed to see that you did not quit when the things were not going in your favor. So congratulations
Yeah,
and kudos
yeah,
to
that's
that.
the key. I mean, I always told myself that even if it took me 5 years, that I'm not going to retire working for someone else in 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's just consistency and learning that. I mean, you're Forex. People, you're 24/5 trading, and you get this idea in your head that you can just go sit down at your computer at any time and make money, and it's just not the case. You've got to pay attention to how things move and when they move, and if you do that and you're patient, you'll do fine. I actually I was funded with FTMO too, my first prop firm, and I don't have the account anymore. I screwed it up, but it did. I had the same journey. I failed a couple of times, got in, was profitable for a little while, but still got greedy, and that's really what bit me. Again, it's the winners that got me. I always expected people would struggle with the losers, but when you start winning and feeling too good about it, that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah. All right. So when you were doing your trading, when you were learning, and you started to see some results, how did you adjust your risk management according to your trading?
Well, the risk management was once I once I saw the math on that, there was another firm that I was trading with at the time, and they would put out the same thing, instructional videos, tutorial videos. And the first time I was introduced to the idea of the way that I manage risk with reducing by half and learning how that works, I never stopped doing that. So that's the one thing that's not going to change. The way I look for trades has changed several times, but the risk management hasn't. So the only thing that changes is my win percentage.
All right.
And I found that what I'm doing now, I have a better win percentage with it because I don't, like I said, I don't set limit orders and assume that anything's going to happen. But if I see something on the screen, then I'll do it. And I think that was, like I said, at first, you go through these strategies and you start getting this idea like, well, this should happen here. So you're going to place a limit order trade. I lost so much money by not just facing up to the fact that you've got to sit down and be in front of the screen and do it live and watch it. But after watching price action for a couple of years, it gets to where you do start to recognize these patterns, and you don't react so emotionally to those big candles that pop up. Just understanding that how it works and why it's
Hmm.
doing that and what needs to be filled.
All right. And what is your mental psychological strength, and how did you develop it?
I'd say my strongest mental strength is that I don't panic. I don't.
Okay.
It's really difficult to rattle me. But that's something that I've been working on my entire life. I've been in Aikido. It's something we worked on in the military a lot with meditation, and I've just been able to learn to take myself out of the moment and look at the bigger picture and not allow my brain to go into that fight or flight response where your logic stops working,
Yeah.
and recognize when that happens and what it feels like when that happens so you can avoid it.
Okay. And do you follow any daily routine? You just said about meditation. So do you follow any daily routine? Because when I was learning, it was in 2018 when my mentor and I we had a long discussion, and he asked me to follow a proper daily routine, which started always with 5 minute or 3 minute meditation session, and following some rituals that I was used to do that at that time. And then that is how I made my daily routine before I jumped into the computer screen every time to analyze the market. What is your daily routine?
Well, my daily routine doesn't. I don't live by myself, so I have 3 kids I wake up and cook for, and they're all girls, so it's nobody wants to wake up. So, but again, that I'm not that way. Like I wake up and I get going. I was in the Air Force. I'm used to as soon as my eyes open, my
Yeah.
day's going. I'm at 100%, and they're not, which can frustrate me. So it provided me an opportunity to exercise patience. And so I'm not sitting down and doing something specifically to meditate, but I am having to focus on my mood and the energy I'm putting out in the morning so that they get up and don't feel stressed. They have a good day. That's the most important thing to me. And if I do that and they all smile or laugh before they get out of the car when I get home, then I'm relaxed. I feel good. But my routine, I would say, is I wake up and cook breakfast. I mean, it's not like I don't get a lot of personal time. I could wake up earlier and do it. I don't find the need for it though because I get that just from the interaction with my family. Honestly,
All right. All right. So now let's wrap this today's interview. Can you just tell the viewers that how working for a forexprofirm.com is different than by just trading yourself, your personal accounts that you have?
sure. Well, the biggest difference, I guess, is that you don't have. I mean, there's no time restrictions or profit targets or maximum loss on personal accounts, right? So there's not that added parameter that you'd have to think of. But again,
Yeah.
what it changes for me is that it makes me do more immediate things like day trading. Whereas, like
Yeah.
I said, on a personal account, I'd probably be looking more for position trades. It's not like I'm looking for income from it. That's the retirement bucket. It's for later.
Yeah.
But the prop firm type of trading within the parameters, it lends itself more to an income based approach than a retirement bucket based approach. So I would say that's the biggest difference.
All right. And what is your recommendation to everyone who is just either starting with us here at forexprofirm.com or starting trading in general? What would you like to recommend to them?
Pay attention to psychology and risk management. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You have to
Awesome.
understand how to lose and to embrace losing because it's going to happen as often, if not more often, than you win. And if you can't handle that, you're going to fail. You're going to get emotional. You're going to put too much on trades. You're going to revenge trade. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I also have an understanding that you kind of have to go through that. At least most people do. You know, you can be told that. I was told that. I didn't understand it until I took a big loss and felt it. Because that was the first time I ever felt emotional about money like that. And it's because it's not just money; it's your pride, your ego. You think
Yeah.
you got this thing, you know what you're doing, and you're constantly fighting yourself. So that's really what you have to pay most attention to. It's your psychology. If you're getting excited about the trade, you're putting too much on it.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. When you're getting excited about either the price is going in your favor or you're getting angry when the price is going against your favor, that means you are emotionally very connected to what you are doing, and which is definitely not a good thing when it comes to trading, because you have to let go of that ego that you think that you have to be right in every single trade that you take, because sometimes there are losses, there are profits. So psychologically, you have to accept that there are going to be losses, and you have to make your risk management, you have to adjust your risk management according to that.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's the most important thing for in my experience anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Daniel, for giving us the interview and telling your experience, telling about us that how you started trading, what went wrong, how you developed your risk management. So it was great to have a chat with you. And guys, if you are still looking to get a funded account, make sure that you check out our website from the link in description. And if you guys have any question, let us know in the comment section. We will get back to you as soon as we can. So thank you for watching. Bye for now. We will see you in the next video.